What does come next? I guess it's either an infection of credit market, which could turn everything ugly, or slowly but surely they stabilize.
Follow the correlations. Fundamentals solid. You just look at earnings and look at dollar yen and dollar Swiss. Normally, if you talked about a week, where you have a 10%, move in U.S. equities, and also just look at the Nikkei, right? That correlation has broken down. No safe haven bid in the yen, but based on what's going on in Asian equities. So I think we should take heart from that. People the macro community in particular, are just trading this in as an isolated, a restrained event within U.S. equity markets.
Well, I think the challenge is separating how much of this or what part of it is technical and how far that's gone versus what are the fundamental concerns behind it, because, of course, it's both. And that maybe is what a little bit different about this one. So from the technical point of view, in terms of the unwinding of all the investments you had in the inverse leverage ETFs, the impact on that on the risk parity funds and so on, that's probably not quite done. So there's one reason to be a little bit cautious there. On the fundamental side, to the degree this really is a worry about inflation and therefore a worry about higher Fed rates, we don't know yet. We just had one data point that kind of surprised the market. I think we want to wait for the next data point, which is CPI, which is next week.
Okay, what happens if it does actually start spilling over the credit market? Is it almost inevitable because of how much we've risen over the last 18 months?
Fundamentally, I think it's a challenge to see a sustained sell-off on credit. Even though we, of course, all know spreads are low and lower than probably we would like. But if you look at default rates, if you look at upgrade-downgrade ratios, we know what the growth outlook is like. Even if you do have this action in the financial markets spilling over to the point where you would see credit fundamentals changing, I think that's a bit of a stretch.